probably about a minute or so, just to give some people time to log in, and then we'll get started. All right, welcome to Startup Basics with Small Business Reference Center. My name is Meredith Del Monte, and I am a librarian with the Plano Public Library. I create and lead staff training on databases and frequently assist patrons through our Book a Librarian service in finding database resources to meet their needs. So today's class is an introduction to the Small Business Reference Center, which is a great tool available to library card holders interested in starting their own small business. This Ebsco database offers exclusive full text from many top consumer small business reference books, as well as tools to address common small business topics. It includes details on how to create business plans, as well as state-specific information. We will not be giving any guidance on starting your own business today. However, we do have several programs which are designed to offer support to people who either already have or are planning to start a small business, including our monthly program Twos, which has meetings on the fourth Tuesday of the month. Caitlin will share some information in the chat. She's one of our support people. I have two Caitlins on today, Caitlin Scott and Caitlin T. So if you have any questions, please feel free to put those in the chat, and either one of them will be glad to either answer or hand those questions off to me, and I will address them. And then I will also share details for these classes at the end of this session. For this virtual program, no cameras will be on and you all will be muted. So as I said, please do share your questions in the chat. We'd love to hear your questions because I'd love to be able to expand on what this database can do to meet your needs. So some of our objectives for today: after this class, you will be able to navigate and search the database, use detailed records view to locate helpful information, access resources specifically for startups, review industry data, and browse popular small business reference books online. So let's get started. Let me get out of this view here real quick. And to get to our databases, you'll go to our website, and this is our main website landing page, which is planolibrary.org. And then scroll down to Research and Learn, and this is the link to all of our databases. And then for business and career-specific databases, you'll click on this lovely little yellow briefcase here, and it will take you to the databases related to business and career. And then all the way at the bottom is our link to our Small Business Reference Center. You can either click on the image or the Access Now link. Either one will get you where you need to go. All right, and if you are accessing this outside of the library, you will need to log in using your library card. I'm in the library right now, so it just automatically pulled up the page. So you'll need your barcode and then your PIN number, which is the last 4 digits of your phone number to get into the database, but it is free to access once you've typed that in. So let's do a basic introduction to this database. It is a standard Ebsco database. So if you've ever had a chance to work with one of those before, like in school or something like that, you may be familiar with some of the search features, but we'll go ahead and go through all of that. So you do have the option of creating an account to keep your information of your search history and that sort of thing. You can do so by signing in, and this will give you the option to create your own account. You can sign up here. If you've already got your information, you can sign in there. Now, you don't need to have an account in order to access the information. The benefits to having an account is that you can save your search history, you can create folders that you can put your articles into, and you can also set your preferences for how you access the information. So those are just some small perks to having all of that set up. So let's look at our searching options. So the basic search feature is just a simple search bar up at the top here, and you can type in anything you'd like to look up related to your interest in your small business. So you could look at maybe, trying to think of a good example, contractors. And just typing that in will get you a wide range of results. If you use very basic search terms, you're going to get, of course, a larger number of results. And you have options to refine those results on the left-hand side over here. You can limit it by types of sources. So if you want to look at magazines, reports, case studies, you can also limit it by subject. There's different terms that you can use. It gives you the largest number of terms that have shown up at the top, but you do have options for more terms. You can also limit it by publication if there's a specific publication that you are looking for. You can limit it by geography, and then one of the really handy ones is you can also limit it by the industry or NAICS category. This is a nationally used category system that basically breaks it up, all of the industries, into little groups that you can navigate and look for stuff. You can select multiple topics to look at, or you can just focus on one, and it tells you how many results for each of those specific industry groupings. So any questions about a basic search yet? All right, sounds like no, so we will continue on. If you want to get a little more complex with your searches, you can come up here to Advanced Search, and it gives you 3 field options, and these you can get very specific by searching information in the title or in the abstract. You can search the whole text if you're wanting to find that phrase anywhere mentioned at all. This is, of course, going to give you more hits than picking a smaller topic. You can also pick the code or description that I mentioned here, the NAICS. So writing an industry descriptor there will help narrow it down to your specific industry. And you can pick up to 3 different ones there to work with, and you can add more. So if you wanted to, you could go for days with different ways to limit it. Of course, the more that you add here, the less results you're going to get. Though if you change it to or, that will broaden your search. And then if you add not, that can help you weed out stuff that may come up regularly but isn't relevant to your particular search that you're wanting to conduct. If you come down here, there are some ways to also limit your search. You can select full text here. And by selecting that, it will return only full text, which is really very helpful unless you're doing some deep diving research. If you don't have this checked, you can get some abstract only descriptions, which means that it just tells you about the article, but you can't actually read it, and you would have to find another way to access that information. You can limit your publishing date. So if you're wanting to make sure you have the most current information, this is a good way to limit that range. And you can also pick publication types in here as well to limit what you're working with. So any questions about advanced searching? No? Okay. So let's go back to our contractor search. Let's see if I can hit the back button. Okay. So we have a bunch of great records here that we can look at. From the preview view here, you can get the basic title, the publication. Right here is the, well, this is the, yeah, the publication there, the year, or if it's got more information, such as if it specifically has a date, you can see that there. It just depends on the publication as to how specific their date information is. And then if it's a article within a journal or a magazine, a lot of times they will have the volume and issue information, and then the specific page numbers within that particular text for it. You can see also that you have the option for a PDF full view or an HTML full view. Some of the returns will have both options, like down here you can see PDF full view, and this one has a form attached to it. I will show you what the differences are in that. So the PDF full view will have actual images usually. It basically is a fully digital copy of the document. If you have an HTML option, that usually is a very text-heavy version. It doesn't typically have the original format, but it does have all the information that the original document had. When you're looking at a specific document, if you click the title, it'll take you to the detailed record view. And this is really handy because if you find an article or a text that is exactly what you're looking for, but maybe your search wasn't as exact as you were hoping, you can find useful information within the detailed record to help refine your search a little more. So if you come in here, you can see that there are subject terms here, and you can use these specific subject terms back in the advanced search to help narrow your search down. And it also tells you the related codes for the industry and the descriptive text for that industry code that can help you narrow down your search and get more specific to your specific needs. All right. Any questions related to just general Ebsco searching and accessing the articles? All right, well, let me know if anything pops up. We will move on. So, since this class is focusing specifically on startups, we do have some startup specific information that we can review. Our first one we'll look at is over here in our categories bar. We've got our startup kit and business plans, and you can click on this and it will provide links to more specific options. So we've got a small business startup kit, writing a business plan, sample business plans, cash flow forecast, personal finance statement, and then very handy to have forms that you might need for your startup. And when you click on these, it opens up a list of the documents that you can see here. This one has a bunch of different forms that you can utilize. I'll open one up so you can see it. Let's see. Well, this one's just got, here we go. When you open this up, it does give you the chapter options down here. So you can move through the chapters here. And when you're in specific chapters, you can click on specific topics for those. Of course, this one is not proving very helpful. I think it's just having a slow load up for me. Let me see if I can find one that's a little better to look at. There we go. That's better. So It'll have information available, and then, like I said, you can navigate using the bar over here to click on your information. You can go to the different chapters, IRS forms that you might need. And so it's very easy to navigate from page to page. Once you find something that you're interested in using, you can do several different things with it. You can print it, you can download it. You can also come over here and utilize these features over here. There's a little email option. You can add it to the folder if you're signed in. You can also, I believe one of these is a citation. So if you're wanting to cite the document, you can do that. That's more of a academic need. But even better is the permanent link. So you can actually get a permanent link for the document that you can save either on your own document, in an email. And by using this link, you can come right back to the document instantly. So those permanent links are handy if you're wanting to be able to quickly pull up the document again later. Though I am personally a fan of downloading it all onto a nice USB flash drive or your own cloud storage, such as a Google Drive or iCloud. I'm not sure what the Mac version of that is. So we'll get back to our small business startup kit here. Let's back up a bit. So we've got information on writing a business plan, and this one is broken up into chapters that you can easily get to. So this is a very handy place to get started if you are just breaking into planning. You can navigate this very easily. Once you're in the document, you can also, like I said, continue to navigate within, but they have the links on the outside over here to make it a little easier for you to get to. Let's go back to our main page. If ever you get lost in the weeds and you don't know how to get back to the main page, this little button here, the Small Business Reference Center, is a great way to just get back to the top page. So keep that in mind. And additional startup information we have by state, and this is really handy. It includes state-specific resources like demographics, what cities are growing really quickly, licenses and permits you might need. You can click on it and, of course, we are currently in Texas, but who knows, maybe you're planning to move to a different state and need to look up one of the other ones. They're all here. You can click on your state, and it opens up the detailed record, which has its own connected HTML format down here, but you can open up the PDF text here. And it has the nice graphically pleasing version of the document. And so it's got some quick facts about Texas, what small business facts are relevant. It kind of is a great way to see where there's growth in the industry that you might be interested in, what specific industries are doing really well. So this is a handy document to access. It also has links to websites that you can use to further your information seeking. So like right here, we've got the Chamber of Commerce site, and that's actually a live link. You can see that the little pointer hand for clicking on a link shows up when you hover over it. So you can click on that and it will open up the outside link. So that's really handy to have those embedded links in there. All right, any questions about those two specific resources? All right, sounds like no, so we'll move on. So there's some additional resources up here, and the resources have varying degrees of age. Some of them are fairly relevant and recent, and some of them are a little older. Under business basics, there's some resources in the coaching of employees and successful meetings and that sort of stuff that it's older information, but it's stuff that does not age really as much. So it's still very helpful information to access. I'll show you. Like this one was published in 2008, but it's got information about like how do I, coach an employee, getting the best from your employees, when to coach them, that sort of thing. So you've got helpful business basics. They also have browsing by category business areas. This is handy to delve into some specifics. So like accounting for your business. You've got management and leadership topics, marketing and selling your business, that sort of thing. So these have articles tied to them. They're basically searches that have the criteria pre-selected for you so that it gets the most relevant results. It's very handy to have. And then we've also got industry information by small business type. So this is where those industry descriptors come in handy. We've got them broken up into some of the most well-known small businesses. A lot to choose from. And when you click on one, let's pick bakeries because I'm feeling snacky. You have the choice of seeing some articles that are written about this particular industry. So it's got articles in various magazines, in the Business Journal, and the like, all available there. And these are all magazine articles because we selected articles. Or you can look at industry information. And this is really handy because it breaks down some of the really important information for your industry. So the Barnes report is up here, and this one is very current as in this year. They do have some of the older reports on here, but that can be handy to see the trends that have changed over time. So very handy to have those. Any questions about browsing by category? All right. And then that leaves us with our final area to look at. And I think it's probably the biggest highlight of this particular resource. I mean, there's a lot of really good information up here, but the NOLO books down here under popular sources, these are fabulous resources. They are very up to date. They're the most recent additions. We do have some of these in physical copies in the library, but it's a lot harder to keep up to date because you actually have to purchase the entire book and have multiple copies. This right here keeps them up to date at your fingertips, easy to access. And there are several books that you can check out. There's a little scrolly button here that lets you scroll through them. And they've got legal guide for small businesses, working with independent contractors, women's small business startup kit, LLC or corporation, just all sorts of great stuff, IRAs, 401ks, and other retirement plans. So these books are full of so much useful information. Let's do tax savvy for small businesses. Just to show you. It opens it up like all the other articles and texts that are available. And you've got your chapters listed here. So you can click on those to navigate from chapter to chapter. And you can also skip ahead to further along chapters. And with these, they usually have indexes, or not indexes, but table of contents for each chapter. So you can see what each chapter has in them. before you start scrolling in. And these are all very helpful resources. If you want to get detailed information about the particular book, you can go to the detailed record and it'll tell you when it was published, how many pages, so on and so forth. And then also the industry codes that they refer to, like I had mentioned earlier. All right. That pretty much covers all of the resource that is Small Business Reference Center. If you guys have questions, I can, of course, answer them, but if not, I can go ahead and pull up the list of programs that are coming up. So you can also save your information from the detailed records. I almost forgot to mention that. You can add to the folder. They've got the tools to do that all on the right-hand side here. Almost forgot that one. Also handy is a search history. If you did a search and you can't remember what the search terms were, but you're like, oh my gosh, I did such a great search. It had everything I was looking for. What was it? You can click on search history and it will have your search history. If you don't have your account signed in, it keeps track of your search history for that particular session. But as soon as you close out of the window and get out of the browser, you will lose your search history. So another good benefit to having that account is that you will have your search history forever, or at least until there's possibly a limited amount. I don't know. I've never reached that, but it might exist. All right. Well, I haven't seen any questions pop up in the chat, so I'll go ahead and pull up our list of programs coming up so that everyone can see that. If you think of a question afterwards, of course, do not hesitate to ask. Let's see. Well, that's not the most beautiful, but you can see upcoming programs here. So we've got Roadmap to Business Startup Success. This is hosted by Dallas SCORE. They are hosting that program at Haggard Library on April 23rd at 10 a.m. We have also our TWOS group that is Team Up for Entrepreneurial Success. As I mentioned earlier, they meet on the fourth Tuesday of the month, and our next meeting is going to be April 26th, 6:30 to 8 p.m. at Haggard. The topic will be funding options. And then, of course, we also have our SCORE Business Mentoring. This is every Thursday by appointment at Schimmelpfennig Library. You can call the number listed there or email Dawn Walker at dawn.walker@scorevolunteer.org to get an appointment. And they will go over so much for you. It's a great resource to have. Caitlin, would you like to add anything about TWOS? Caitlin T.
Sure. TWOS is a new group. This upcoming meeting for funding options will be the fourth meeting. It is for anyone who has ever thought about starting a business or has a business already or is in the early stages. It really is open for whoever is just interested in entrepreneurship. And we discuss various topics before each meeting. There was a question in the chat. Do you have to register or anything for a roadmap class or TWOS? The roadmap to business startup, it's in person and online. You do not have to pre-register unless you want to view it online. And for TWOS, there is an option to where you can register online through the SCORE website, or we have a sign up in at the program itself, so you do not have to register prior if you do not want to. If it's helpful for you to get an email reminder though, feel free to go to the Dallas SCORE website and you can register that way. They send out very helpful email reminders. And it is Don Walter, not Walker.
Sorry, that was my typo.
Yes. And he is fabulous and very receptive to emails and phone calls. But the choose group we have discussed already, the roadmap to business startup. So sort of like a business plan basics. We've also discussed SEO optimization. So getting your web presence set up. We also have discussed social media usage and marketing your business. And we have many, many more topics upcoming for the summer session. So how it works is we typically have a short presentation on the topic from a partner. So either they'll score mentor or we work with other members of the community to present on the topic and then allow everyone who's attended to ask questions and really open it up for networking within the group itself. So you're not just learning from the partner or library staff on resources that connect to it, you're also having the opportunity to connect with others who are working on growing their businesses in the community. So it's a really great group. Highly encourage everyone to come. And if you do, you'll see me. So come say hi.
All right. Thank you so much. And so that is what we've got for today. If you have any additional questions related to the database, please let me know. I'd be glad to answer. I'll hang on here for a couple more minutes and then we will call it a day.
Good job, Meredith.
Yay.
All right, are we ready to end the webinar?
Yep.
All right.